Baofeng UV-13 Pro, one of the newest Baofeng radios. It's advertised as a high-power dual-band HT, so we're going to take a look at it today. Good afternoon, welcome to the channel. My name's Jason, I'm KC5HWB is my ham radio call sign, and this is Ham Radio 2.0, where we do reviews, news, and how-tos of things that are new in amateur radio. I've done videos about the UV5R, the UV9R, the UV10R. This is a UV13R. I picked this up on eBay, and it's advertised as a high-power walkie-talkie VHF-UHF portable ham radio two-way radio. So it sells for about $40 at the time of this recording. It comes with the following items. So this stuff right here is what it comes. Does not come with the CW key, just FYI. So it's got a earpiece here with an inline push-to-talk button on it, so that's kind of cool. Belt clip, of course. It comes with the antenna, which I put on. It didn't come with the antenna attached. It did come with the battery attached, but it had a piece of plastic between the battery and the radio so that it wouldn't run down the battery. It does have USB-C charging on the bottom of the battery right there. In fact, the charging cable, it doesn't have a cradle here. You'll see no cradle at all. The charging cable it comes with is this USB-A to USB-C cable and a wall wart that has a USB-A in the bottom of it. Just like that right there. So you can plug that in and charge it solely from USB-C. So no desktop charger for this radio. This might be the first Baofeng I've ever seen that doesn't come with a desktop charger. Now, let me ask you guys this. What do you think about desktop chargers? The fact that this is USB-C charging is a very forward-thinking direction. A lot of the HTs today that are on the market, brand new HTs, don't include USB charging at all. At least the ICOM ID52 has a micro USB charger, so that's kind of cool. It'll charge via micro USB, that's good. But USB-C is somewhat of a new thing to the Japanese companies, and finally the Chinese companies are starting to actually include USB-C chargers. So the fact that this one does not have a desk charger, I don't think I care. I think if I had to pick between a proprietary desk charger and a USB-C common charger, I would choose the USB-C charger. Now, a lot of you may say in the comments, well, why can't we have both? Great question. Ask the manufacturers, because I don't get to make those decisions. I would rather have both. Yes, I'd rather be able to drop in a charger, drop a spare battery in a charger, and charge, and also have a USB-C charger. Yes, but if I had to pick one or the other, USB-C would be my preference. That's my opinion. You may not agree. That's okay. Whatever you want to think is just fine, but that's where we are right now. So let's go through the menu of this radio. I'm going to zoom down here just a touch. All right, so that's a little bit bright right there around this area, but you can see the screen. The screen's what we're focusing on right now. So if I turn the menu on, it's washed out because I've brightened it up, but you can see the backlight is the menu right there. Okay, so backlight, you can change when it times out, but you can't change the brightness. The one above 10 seconds says bright. What does that mean? I suspect that means it just stays on constantly. I don't know what bright means because the whole thing is bright. There's not a way. When I saw bright, I thought, oh, good, there's a way to dim it. But no, there is no way to dim it. And that's just kind of where it is right there. Menu starting at 0 right there and ending at 42. So a squelch menu. 2.5 kilohertz steps, that's good. Transmit power is high. There's high and low, no mid power. Okay, I'm going to test that on a power meter. Power save 3. Vox level. Bandwidth is wide, it'll do narrow FM, so that's good. Backlight, we went through there. D wait, I don't know what that is. Beep. Now we can turn that off. Good. Timeout timer. Receive DCS, receive CTCSS. That's strange that it's set in there. I don't know why that's set in there. That's strange. Transmit is set also. Turn that off. Voice you can turn off and on. A lot of people ask about the voice when I do these review videos. It's got a lot of different things in here. 42 different menus. Offset is your offset for repeater work. Direction is plus or minus. That's good. Instead of giving you the symbols, it actually says plus the word and minus the word and then none the word. Instead of 0, a positive or a plus symbol or a negative symbol. Channel memory. Delete channel memory. 999 memory channels. Okay, so guess what? That is awesome for a Baofeng. 999 memory channels. That is something I have not seen on a Baofeng before. Most of your Baofeng radios have like 128 memory channels. The UV5R, the UV882, the UV10R, I believe, even had 128 memory channels. Your TYT, TH350, the UV88, the RT85 from Retevis, some of those have 200 channels. Some of them have 128. The 999 memory channels is a feature we don't see much outside of the world of Ocean, the Wuxin radios. Every time I say Ocean, someone comes along and says, no, it's Oshang. Every time I say Oshang, someone comes along and says, no, it's Oshun. You know what? I don't know what it is. It starts with a W. That's what I know. But those radios, typically your UV8 Delta, UV8 Echo, the new UV8 Hotel, the UV9 series, all the different UV9 radios, those have 999 memory channels, but I've yet to see a Baofeng with a 999 memory channel bank. So, hey, we're making progress. This is a step up. The Baofeng has a USB-C charger, and it has 999 channels in memory. I'm not complaining about that at all right now. So let's take a look further here. Still got a dark screen because of the bright backlight. You can't turn the backlight down. That's really the only drawback I've found so far. Alarm mode. Seek, so it'll scan for CTCSS tones. It'll scan for DCS tones. Tail, I don't know what that means. One thing I just discovered, to change from channel mode to frequency mode to VFO, you just hold down this menu button. 2-second press, maybe a long press, VFO right there. So you can VFO it like that. Good. Change it back to channel mode. Go back into the menu. So, oh, it started at the beginning. Okay. So I don't know what tail means. It might say in the manual. I can't imagine it's something that I would really need that much of. So I'm not going to really worry about it right now. But RPSTE, RPRL, Roger. It's got a Roger beep. Okay, we know it's a real radio now. It's got a Roger beep. Receive tone. Open set. Language is English. Hopping RX. I wonder if it has spread spectrum band hopping. It won't let me turn it on because I'm in memory mode, presumably, or maybe I have to set up a specific channel. So it may have spread spectrum band hopping. Reset all. 41. Sync off and go back there. It did come with a manual, and here's the manual right here. Sync is on enable, single band 2-line display, a display alias on the frequency, off is normal display status. Gotcha. Okay, so sync changes it to channel 7 or frequency. So I turned sync on, and now it says a frequency on both top and bottom. I turned sync on, and it has a channel number. Presumably you can go in there and name those channels, maybe in the software or something like that. I don't know what that means. And this tail squelch. Tail squelch elimination is what tail is. This function is used to eliminate the squelch tail noise between handhelds that are communicating directly with no repeater. Reception of 55 Hz or 134.4 Hz tone bursts mutes the audio long enough to prevent hearing any squelch tail noise. That's what that says right there. Okay, so this manual has a decent description of what all of these menus are. That's good. I'm impressed with that as well. Okay, so hey, so far I'm really liking this UV-13 Pro. You know, for a $40 radio, it's about $12, $15, $18 more than a UV5R, depending on where you find the UV5R and what time you find it. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing so far. So I like all that. Let's go around the sides of it because I want y'all to see what it looks like all the way around. All right, brighten this back up again so the screen's washed out. It's got 2 buttons above. One button above, one button below the PTT. This is your PTT, obviously, okay? So that's your flashlight. Short press on the bottom button is your flashlight. Long press opens up the squelch, just like that. Short press on the top button turns on the FM stereo. Okay, short press turns it off. Long press sets the alarm. Okay, so that's pretty common. It's got the standard K-type connector on the side here, which is where your inline PTT that it comes with plugs into. You can also put a speaker mic in there. Bottom of it looks like this. That's how you take the battery off. There's the USB-C charger. It does have these 3 prongs across the battery, so it is set up for a desk charger. You can actually probably put a desk charger put this in a desk charger. It just doesn't come with it. So if you find something that matches the voltage on a desk charger from another manufacturer, maybe another model of Baofeng radio, you might be able to use that with it. I have not looked. The belt clip attaches to the battery. Now, I've mentioned in previous videos, I'd rather it attach to the body. That way, if you buy multiple batteries for it, you don't have to buy a separate clip for each one. But on this one, you would have to. You'd have to buy a separate clip for each one because it connects to the battery. Now, what you'll notice first off is there's no FCC approval stamp of approval, I should say. This is a CE stamp right here, and CE is, at least I'm pretty sure that's CE. I've seen that before. And CE is the UK version of the FCC. So this might be accepted in England or in the United Kingdom, but as of right now, there are no FCC stamps on this radio. So take that for what it's worth. So not going to really probably use this very much. This is a brand new radio. Again, I got this off of eBay. I will put a link in the description so that you guys can find where it was. At the time of this recording, it is $39.99. It's got an SMA female on the antenna and SMA male on the actual radio itself. So let's put it on the meter and see what it does. I'm going to use the trusty MFJ 849 meter, as I have done in many other videos in the past. And I'm going to put this thing into VFO mode. Okay, so now I'm at 146.520. I know you can't see that in the camera, but you're just going to have to trust me. That's at 146.520. I wonder if the camera... There it goes. Okay, the camera will adjust if I get it close enough. Okay, so VFO 146.520. It has, as I said a minute ago, it has two power settings, power levels, high and low. So on low, we're going to be looking at 1.5 watts on low. That's where it is right there. Okay, good. We're going into a dummy load right now. Change the power to high, and we're about 3.5 watts. Now again, this is advertised as, quote, high power walkie-talkie on eBay. And if I look at the eBay listing here, high-low TX power selectable, high power is 5 watts. Now, I would not exactly call a 5 watt HT high power, but I didn't make this listing. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so 3.5 watts on 146.52. Now we're going to go to 440. I'm going to go to 441.0. 441.0, you can see that right there. High power is about 2.8 watts. Yep, that's high power. And about 0.5 watt on low on the 440 band. So not really performing the way that it advertises it will, but if you've looked at my last few Baofeng videos, that's become kind of a common thing. It's possible there's some calibration that needs to be done in this MFJ meter, but if I put my Yaesu or my ICOM on this meter, they read right about what they're supposed to be reading. If I put my UV9D Mate, which is a 10 watt HT, it reads about 9.5 to 9.8 watts. So I'm fairly confident that this meter is accurate because on the higher end radios, it seems to read exactly what it's supposed to. On the lower end radios, it tends to read like 1 to 1.5 watts less than what these radios are advertised as. So do I think this is a good radio? Yes, I do. I really think this is a good radio, at least once it gets an FCC certification, okay, if they're planning on certifying this specific model. But it's got an excellent menu. It's got 999 memory channels. It's got USB-C charging compatibility. It has the standard Kenwood port on the K connector port on the side, so you can put your standard PTT earbuds in it, speaker mics and whatnot. But I think that Baofeng is moving in the right direction with this transceiver, and I think it would be, I'd like to put it on a spectrum analyzer to kind of see how spurious the emissions may or may not be. I'd like to do some real-world testing with it to see what people think about it, but I might wait until there's an actual FCC stamp on it to do that. Maybe we'll do some tests, some dummy load testing with it again later on. I don't know. Who has this? Have you guys seen this yet? The UV-13 Pro, I think perhaps they had a UV-13 prior to 2022, but this one's advertised as a new 2022 model, so they've updated something, and quite frankly, it's the first HT I've ever seen from Baofeng with 999 memory channels in it. So that impressed me. That impressed me. I thought it was cool to have that many channels in a $40 radio from Baofeng. Let me know what you think about it. Comment below. 73, and thanks for watching today.